Morning, guys. There was a shooting last night at the Vice President's house, and if you read my messages, we're due for a biblical flood in Washington. Let me show you why D.C. isn't that interesting. It really isn't dark. It's kind of bright. I mean, the sun's out, wreaking havoc with the camera, I guess. So let's go over this way. So this is the Greek Orthodox Cathedral here in Northwest, and this is on Garfield Street, no, 36th. And what is this street? 36th and Mass. I think this is Garfield. This is where the shooting was last night. So a car just got shot at by another car in some sort of road rage incident right here at about 4:30 in the morning. Now the Vice President's house is down about 3 blocks that direction. So it wasn't directly in front of the Vice President's house, but it was here in the area. You can see on the street they still have the flares. They have the powder from the road flares. They blocked off traffic for a number of hours. In fact, it messed up the school runs of kids who go to school in this area, as the police had closed off the whole street for their investigation. So we are heading down towards the Vice President's house. Should be there in just about a minute. So you can see, I mean, it was near the Vice President's house, but it certainly didn't affect the Vice President at all. I think the stories that said shooting near the Vice President's house this morning were a little bit clickbaity by the local media, because God knows nobody's going to read a story about a shooting in Washington D.C. because, well, they happen all the time. They literally happen all the time. Oh, there's a protest. I hear someone screaming. I don't know what they're screaming. Over there. Citizenship for Dr. Oh, it's a citizenship for all. They're chanting in Spanish, I think. There's 5 of them. I don't even think she's here. Now there's this guy on the other side of the street, Mr. Happy here. He always waves and smiles to the cars, and then he comes back to the Vatican embassy and starts screaming at them about child abuse. But he screams at them in a level that's like, the bombers are in the air. The weapons are in the silos. They're ready to get you. It's kind of like, whoa, dude, whoa. Not much at the VP's house today. See, as I mentioned, we can only really see the Vice President's house in the wintertime. In the summertime, the trees grow in so thick that the house basically just disappears back there. I mean, I can see it. You can't see it in the camera, probably. I can just see bits of it. Oh, here's the armed landscaping crew I showed you the other day. I'm going to fix it. That was interesting. They looked at me and my scooter slowed down. I think the Vice President has already gone to work. It's about 9:45. I know she's supposed to get the presidential brief with the President at 10:15. So I think they already went to the office. Check out the Prince Philip thing today. It's still about the same. About the same amount of flowers. I think that was just kind of a weekend thing. Nobody seems to be putting any new flowers up here. Though there is a balloon. Good job. Ooh, that's the ambassador's car. That's the Japanese ambassador's car. I want to show you something. I don't know if I can go in here. What is it? It's a Lexus. It's a nice car. But, did you notice? Oh, he's even got a little flagpole thing. Cool. He's got a little flagpole. He put the little Japanese flag on it. Did you notice the license plate on that car, though? The license plate on the Japanese diplomatic cars are AF. Alpha Frank. Now, for those of you who studied military history, AF has tremendous American military history. The reason is that American code breakers in Pearl Harbor started to notice a tremendous amount of traffic during World War II about a target known as AF. They eventually figured it out that AF was Midway, the Midway battle. The Japanese were using the code AF to describe Midway in their encrypted traffic. The Americans broke the code and realized AF was at Midway. They surprised the Japanese, and the course of the war changed. Now, for reasons I'm not entirely sure, out of all the different two-letter combinations you could have for a diplomatic license plate, Japan's license plate is AF. Could that be a coincidence? Could that be a World War II veteran who was in charge of license plates distributions after the war? I don't know. I've always wanted to ask the State Department about that to figure that one out. But, it's a mystery. Okay, we're going to try the bike again. We're going to get an electric. Hey guys. God, it's a beautiful day. Well, it's a little cold in the shade, but it's nice in the sun. Anyway, I'm on a bike, as you could probably gather. And we are going to go down to the mall just for a little walk. Nothing too fancy. We'll drop in on the White House, see what's up over there. There's a World War I memorial coming up. But first, a lot of you guys have been asking me about flooding in Washington, D.C. And well, it's springtime. I mean, it is raining. So let me show you something about flooding. Let me take you down to the Potomac. Alrighty. So these are actually embassies. This is Norway, has some of their embassy functions here. Then Sweden and Norway. And I think from one other country. This is the House of Sweden, which is a place where they show off Swedish design and art and industry. They've got all these like Swedish-made devices in there. Yeah, interesting. So this is the Washington Harbor Complex. This is an incredibly expensive office building, residential, and retail shops here on the Potomac. It's so expensive that they actually paid money to put giant flood barriers that pop up anytime that this is going to be threatened by flooding. And at this moment, despite the water being slightly elevated, the flood barriers are down. Okay? That should be telling you guys something. That one of the most expensive buildings on the waterfront in Washington has not opted to pull up their flood barriers, even though I've shown you the flood barriers up and operational before. So when you guys ask me about flooding in DC right now, the guys who have hundreds, literally hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, they are not worried about a flood right now. Anyway, just FYI, show not tell. So listen, the other night there was a video that went around showing some flooding going on up on Capitol Hill. There's a lot of water. Don't really know what it was, but I drove by there later that night and I couldn't see anything. So this is what it looked like at about 8:30 that night. Couldn't see anything. What it was. I do know that DC flushes hydrants every year about this time, but when I drove by I didn't see any fire hydrants on the road, so I'm not really sure if they were flushing a hydrant or emptying a tank or something, because it looked kind of dirtyish water. No water when I went by, no water today, no water the next day. Go figure. All right, so we're down below the Watergate Hotel, residential condominiums, office building, and we're going to follow along the Potomac River and make our way down to some of the monuments, I think. What happened to those little rescue boats? Oh, they went off down water a bit. Huh. Someone is getting a rowing lesson. Ready, set, stroke. Oh. And her blades came out of the water. Okay, let's take the bike over to the bike rack. Go for a little walk today, I think. Jets. So Reagan National Airport is just down there, and we're right on the takeoff pattern today. Sometimes we're on the landing pattern, sometimes the takeoff. Takeoffs are always noisier. Oh, it's a wedding. Yay, congratulations. I think I see a wedding pretty much every day I come up here. Or a wedding photo shoot. Okay, let's return this bike. You know what, we may end up renting it later again. Big umbrella. Gotta keep the makeup safe. Wonder if that's that German movie I heard about. Pretty empty. Pretty empty today. A few tourists. Let's go around. Let's go. They're all set up out here. The hair is waving in the wind, and I'm going to pop up right in the picture and be like, oh. Oh well. Sorry. Someone's happy.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Will you try one where I'm like the opposite way?
Okay, let's sneak around the movie again. They're standing on the I Have a Dream marker where Martin Luther King gave his speech. Yeah, so we have the entire mall to ourselves this morning. And the 58,000 names that are written on the wall. It's kind of slippery. So it starts here. This is actually not the first name. The first name is at the center, and the last name is at the center. And then it works its way out, and then it comes back and starts up again. But they're put basically when they died, with some exceptions. When they find a new body, or when they identify the remains of a soldier, or they reclassify his death as being from the war, they'll come back and add a name. Like I think that name got added in later, so some of the names on the edges get added in later. They try to put them with their comrades who perished at around the same time. Let me see if I can find one. Here, for example, if you look closely here, this one here is a little cross. That means that William A. Smith Jr. is still missing in action. His remains have not been found. And here's another one. Clifford W. Feisel. Clifford W. Feisel, also listed as missing in action. Now, if they find his remains, or they identify the remains through DNA or something, then they'll change the cross into a diamond. They'll come out here and alter the memorial, make it a diamond. Oh, so many. Now the little monuments and flags and notes and other stuff are all collected by the Smithsonian, and they're stored They're cataloged where they were, when they were found, who they were left for, and that is put into the Smithsonian Museum for all history. Every now and then the Smithsonian will have a display of mementos from the wall. A pretty impressive view here. There's two other memorials to the Vietnam War as well. One over there is for nurses, and one over there is for the men who fought and survived, I guess, the soldiers who came back. They had to put more traditional statue-like memorials when a lot of people objected to the architectural design of the wall. Notably, Ross Perot, one of the men who helped set up the fund to build the memorial, actually hated the design. Some congressmen wanted to put a giant statue at the top of the memorial. But as the veterans started to show up and visit the memorial, how you doing, buddy?
Anything to help a homeless veteran today,
I
brother?
don't even know if I have any cash, man.
Thank you
Let me
so
see if
much.
I got anything. I'm sorry, I don't think I do. Let me check. Oh, I do, buddy.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Have some of those. All
God bless you, brother.
right, you have a good day. As always, the cash I give out to homeless people comes from you guys. Thanks for your donations. People donate on my live YouTube videos, and I don't need the money, so I just give it to those guys. Usually I try to buy them lunch, but the only place to get lunch here is a hot dog stand. So this is kind of a hidden memorial. A lot of people don't know it's here. They just see the trees and the traffic and they just sort of ignore it. But if you come back up here, you're treated to a giant Albert Einstein. This is kind of cool. I guess it's relatively formula. Yeah, little darling, I got the $2,000 version. So this is where they're making the new landing zone for Marine One while the construction's underway. And they put these mats down. These mats are hammered in tight with big spikes. I'm not sure if this is for the press or for getting off the helicopter itself. It's a little bit too close to the trees, I would think, for the helicopter to like land right there, and they'd cut the trees. And probably for the press or something. Or maybe for, oh, you know, it could be for the car. No, I think they put the car on the road. You never know, though. We will see soon, though. The next time there's a helicopter landing, I'll be here. We'll video it for you. It's interesting to see a mussel flight over the White House. Mussel is the call sign of those helicopters. Yeah, you can see the construction here on the south lawn. It's almost extended the whole length from the west wing, which is over here, the Rose Garden, over to the east wing. Just about the whole length. From what I've been told, that's actually the intention, to run plumbing and telecommunications between the two. This angle, you can really see how messed up the tree is. One whole side of it is just brown and beat up. It's like really sparse and everything like that. We're at 15th and E Street. That's the new World War I memorial. That opens tomorrow, but it's a closed ceremony. I hear a guy singing. I think there's a guy singing over here. Yeah, this John 3:16 guy. There is the color guard doing their preparation. I think they're flying F-22s. Oh, they're filming a movie. No, this is the production for tomorrow. We've got pretty much what we saw yesterday with the big fences. So yeah, no real change from yesterday. Fence is still the fence. We did see a couple spotters on top of the White House on the other side. But now you see, this is interesting. This is a gate that they go. But you guys asked me the other day, where are the locks? The locks are on the inside. All right, you guys are always asking, where's the locks? So the locks are on the inside. Yeah. And then this little thing can open it up once they're ready to open it up. That I think is the Scottish Rite Temple. This is the back side. That's over on 16th Street. What are we at? Maybe we can cut over on the street. 16th and S? Yeah, we'll cut over here. Yeah.
6 people.
Yeah. Boy, it's huge. Freemasons. The Scottish Rite of Freemasons, Supreme Council number 33, Museum and Library. So this is a giant Masonic Temple here on 16th Street, just up from the White House. Never been in there. Doesn't look like it's open today. And as I'm not a stone cutter, I don't know the secret stone cutter handshake to get in. It's a great episode of The Simpsons. Right back, let's just ditch it here. Missed a lot.